Hey everyone, it's Alan from Protrade here. In this video, we're going to be going over dust solutions. Not simply just dust extractors, but solutions for everyone. Protrade have worked with innovative leaders from all over the world to offer you simple, low maintenance and straightforward solutions. Whether that be from dust extractors to attach to your tool to catch dust at source, or onto different types of PPE. Disposable masks, half-face sort of 30-day respirators, onto PAPR systems, and then after that to go on and filter the air in the room essentially and purify the air. Whilst to get the first product out, why not check some footage from when we went around our depots running through the products with our staff. So the first product we're going to look at is the Trend Air Shield Pro PAPR unit. What is PAPR? It's a powered air purifying respirator. And essentially they come in the form of a helmet visor setup or a mask setup, and they pull air in, filter it and pump it into the helmet or mask. So you're breathing in filtered air. This particular one runs off two filters, which are TH2 grade. That's roughly the same sort of filtration as FFP3. That's a 98% filtration with a leakage of around 2% on there. Rechargeable battery comes with a unit, a plastic bag to store it in when not wearing, and the airflow tester with this as well. I'll show you how the filters and batteries fit into the unit. For this, we open up the lid here. And these two filters clip in either side, so we'll pop that in there. Make sure it's thoroughly pushed in and clipped in. They do need to seal correctly, otherwise you can cause an air leak. And the battery is simply a friction fit on the back there. The battery of this unit is considered older technology. It's nickel metal hydride. A fully charged battery will last for around 8 hours and will pump around 200 litres per minute into the helmet. Unfortunately, because it is an older technology battery, as the power starts to deplete on there, it does drop in the end by around 20%. So you'll end up with around 160 litres of air pumping into the unit. So we've now fitted the filters and the battery to the Air Shield Pro. The total combined weight of this with filters, battery, head unit, etc. is around 1 kilo. So obviously that kilo of weight will be mounted to the top of your head. The on button is at the back here, also next to the charger port. They do an optional extra where you can get an external charging dock for the battery. So if you were to buy a second battery, as the unit does only come with one, you could have a second one on charge whilst you're wearing the unit. Simply turn it on by pressing that and it powers up. Now, if you do hold the unit like this, it does have a vibration to it. Nothing crazy, but it does vibrate. We can also have air defenders fitted to the unit. They're an optional extra too. They just simply click on. So the Trend Air Shield Pro is fitted with a high quality visor. It's perfectly clear to see through, so it's a grade 1, and for impact it's graded B, which is medium duty, pretty standard for all sort of visors. Keep you safe up to around 260 miles per hour on impact. You'll also notice this like tear off on here. That comes with one mounted straight out of the box. You can buy a pack of 10, I believe it is, as an extra. So should you get overspray or any damage, anything stuck to it, you can simply peel it off. Your vision area will be completely clean, stick a new one on, and it keeps your visor fresher for longer, similar to Formula One drivers when they peel off theirs whilst they're driving. It's got a very good headband fitting on here, nice and tight, adjustable, fits well, quite comfy. And to seal it to your face, it has this material around here. It does the job. It's sort of a very shiny, sort of thick plastic, essentially. So although you're going to have air pushing down your face to keep your face cool, the top of your head is still in this black bag, essentially. The vents on top are for drawing air in, not for drawing air out. So a few customers have mentioned it can get quite warm in there after a while on the top of your head. And the last item this comes with is this plastic airflow tester. This is simply mounted into the vents on the front of the helmet. And when you then turn it on, the red ball will lift and you'll know you've got airflow. If the ball does not lift, there's a blockage or a clogged filter or an issue somewhere, and you're going to need to investigate that. So moving on to the next one, it's also a product from Trend. It's the AirPro Max. This is the sort of next step up from the previous Air Shield Pro that we were looking at. Unlike the previous Air Shield Pro, this one is hard hat protection rated, so this can be worn as a hard hat as well as a PAPR system. We'll run through the differences with this one. So starting from the back here, we've got the filter flap. Simply pop that open and fit the filter in. Now this particular unit is TH3, so that has a 99.98 filtration protection with a leakage of 0.02, so 10 times better than TH2. Pretty much a very, very similar rating to an M-Class extractor, for example. So really good filtration on there. We'll pop the filter into that panel and pop that into there. Now this unit doesn't come with a pre-filter, but you can buy them as an accessory. Anything where you can have a pre-filter is always worth having, as it will prolong the life of your main filter further down the line. As we move forward here, we've then got the battery compartment here. Now this unit does come with 2 batteries. This time they're lithium, so much newer technology. Each battery has a 4-hour run time, but a much shorter charge time of only 2 hours per battery from fully flat. So as one depletes, you can put it into the charger dock, which is included out of the way, and you should have a second one charged up and ready to go. The next thing you'll notice is the blue button. It's an on-off button. Quite simply press it, the machine will power up. Where the previous machine had in it a manual airflow sensor, the little plastic sort of test tube, this is all built in, it's automatic. If I open the visor here, we've got a little panel here with a green light indicating the airflow is good. If there was an issue, it would be red. This PAPR can also have air defenders clipped on. They will clip on here and here. If you're not going to use air defenders, they do include some little plastic plugs, which will pop in just to smooth that off, make it look a little bit nicer. Exactly the same rated visor as the previous one, so it's completely clear, nice and see-through, and rated as a B rated, up to 268 miles per hour impact. There isn't an overlay stuck on here as standard, but in the box does come a pack of overlays to put on there to, again, prolong the life. Inside the unit, we've got the material to seal your face into it, so to speak. Much nicer quality, much softer, almost quilted, and only on your face part. Top of your head is open, so although potentially will still get quite warm, you're not enclosed in a bag, so nowhere near the temperatures we're talking. Really well padded headband on there as well, and again fully adjustable, so you can really get a good fit on there when you're using it. Also included in the box as standard are these 3 rubber plugs. They simply fit in the battery compartment and air intakes and outtakes. Purely pop them in if you're going to give it a thorough clean or you're going to be spraying it with something. Just protect those areas. They're included, and it does come with the same sort of plastic Trend bag to keep it stored in when you're not wearing it. Because obviously if you are in a dusty environment, you take it off and leave it on the side, you're going to come back and inside will be full of dust. So when you're done with it, pop it in a bag or somewhere clean out of the way. This unit does have a heavier weight. It's 1.5 kilos. Again, all mounted on your head. The upside to this is on the previous unit, if you wanted to move it up to put it out of the way, take a drink, talk to someone, whatever, the whole unit shifted. On this one, simply the visor pops up and you've got an open space there. Okay, so we move now to the Optrel Swissair PAPR system. This is a TH3 filtration as well on here, but the main difference with this is it's a back-mounted one. It's in the form of a rucksack, so the weight isn't too much of a consideration because it is on your back, it's out of the way. Also still allows you to wear a high-vis vest if you need to, along with other PPE. The actual part that goes on your face is just a face mask, much lighter. It cuts around 60 grams, so about 20 times lighter than the Trend offering, as that's all mounted on your head. The bulk of this is on your back. If you are larger, you can get extensions for the straps, so you can adjust it to make it fit. And if you want this to sit lower down your back, you can also move it down an inch or two, so it does sit a little bit lower as well, depending on how you want it to be comfort-wise or if the space you're working in. The filter is a 3-stage filter, and it's mounted into this panel. The key thing to remember this is you don't need to really prise it back. It only needs a little lift and just a push just to unclip it over that ledge, and that releases that fully then. First thing you pop in is this metal grill. It's a spark filter essentially, so if someone is grinding near you or creating sparks, that's going to catch them and stop it going through to your filters. This unit does include a pre-filter, and you pop that in next. That's going to prolong the life of your main filter and catch any of the bigger particles that make it through, and then you pop in the main filter there as well. We found if you pop it all together in there to start with and then slide it onto here, it just makes it that little bit easier, and you're away to go then. Just come with a rechargeable battery, just a single rechargeable battery on there. You charge that using a USB-C, which is included in the bag, also the same as most sort of Android phones, tablets, and I believe that iPhones will be switching to it too soon. You'll get up to 14 hours runtime on this, and the charge time from fully depleted is 6 hours. You can adjust the airflow on this, so to achieve the 14 hours runtime, you do have to have it on low, which is around 100 litres a minute pumped into the mask. Now that is lower than the head shields we were looking at, but that's because it's only got to fill this small space instead of a full face shield. Obviously, if you were pumping much more air into there, you'd probably struggle to be able to breathe. The battery on full airflow, which is 130 litres a minute, will still give you 8 hours. So you are still going to get a full working day if you did decide to run it on full. The face mask is simply clipped into place, and you pop it into there. And again, on the other side, all of this would then run up your back. That sits on the top of your head just to hold it in place, and that on the front where's the main breathing area, and that's adjustable too and can be sort of moved to whatever comfort levels or shape face you have. So once the battery's inserted, on the top here there is a power button. If you press that, you'll hear it beep. That basically means it's turned on, and as we've got this controller panel fitted to it, it's essentially in standby mode, ready for us to control via this. On the bottom, we've got a swivel wheel, so we can flick that to low, and the unit will power on. Medium, slowly hear it ramp up, or round to high, and again it ramps up. The lights on here indicate battery charge, so we've got a fully charged battery, and this is your filter indicator. So as we've only got one dot, it's indicating the filter is new. It's 0 to 25% used, and as you work up, it goes 25 to 50, 50 to 75, 75 to 100, and they will light up red. When your filter is ready to be changed, or your battery is ready to be charged, the unit will bleep at you, so you will be alerted to know there's an issue. This does also have an integrated airflow sensor, so when the machine turns on, it automatically does the checks. If there's an issue, again, it's going to bleep and alert you to the fact there's a problem. As this mounts just to your face and nose, you can still wear it with safety specs, a visor, air protection, hard hats. You can use all your standard PPE along with this. And again, if you've got multiple users of this, maybe it's going to be someone wearing it for a short period of time, and then they'll go off and do a job, or another user then needs to use it, or a day shift, night shift, This unit can be shared by multiple users, so long as each user has their own face piece, which they keep safe and out of the way in the carry bag. There's not going to be any cross-contaminants, and it remains sanitary for each user. So moving on from the Optrel Swissair, that brings us on to the Optrel E3000 system. Now, this PAPR system is a belt-mounted system. This is coming in at about 1.5 kilos. Again, belt-mounted, so not too terrible. It is a large, thick leather belt. We've got some rubber buffers there on the hips as well. This PAPR just comes as this belt-mounted system. So depending on what application you're going to use it in would depend on what head top you would buy it with. So I've got a couple of examples here. We've got a simple lightweight hood you could use in a spray booth, for example. Grinding helmet, quite straightforward. Could also link it to a welding helmet if you wanted to. And it's just a very straightforward clip-on. With the hose, would simply clip on, and that's locked on then. And it would be the same lightweight hood or the welding helmet if you went down that route. This particular unit also offers up to 14 hours run time and is TH3 filtration certified. So that's a 99.98 filtration and a 0.02% leakage on there. Now, this unit has recently been used by a customer's house, and they really liked it. They've gone on and bought their own. But the upside to it being demonstrated previously is I can actually show you how well a pre-filter works. So if we take out the main filter here, there's a bit of grubbiness, but pretty much looks almost clear. We then get to the pre-filter, and as I peel that back, you'll see the particles in the pre-filter and between that and the spark filter that's included that have been trapped. So that's obviously done its job. It's caught it really well and prolonged the life of this. So before it is re-demonstrated, we may switch out the pre-filter, but the main filter will be absolutely fine to pop back in there and seal into this unit, ready to go. So this unit is TH3 certified, as I mentioned, and comes with those filters. You can buy additional filters though, so you can also get A1, B1 and E1 filters, depending on your application and products that you'll be using with it would depend on whether you need to buy those filters and have them in there, whether it's solvents, organics, etc. We could advise you on that, and they are available to be used with this machine. Like the previous Swissair model, this also has an integrated airflow sensor along with various other alarms. So this machine, if we were to take the filters out and turn it on, it will ramp up and eventually start beeping to say there's no filter in here, find the problem. It also has a very clever inbuilt feature for if there is a blockage or an issue with the airflow in general. So on the side of the machine here, we've got the power button, which we can press that and turn it on. And we also have the fan speed. There are 3 modes on here. So if we go ahead and turn this on, that's beeping to say it's checked, it's working. We're currently on filtration airflow 2. So I'll knock that up to 3, and that's now working at full capacity. Now, if something was to happen with the airflow, to show this, I'm simply going to block it. The machine will do its absolute best to keep the airflow at the same level, which is why you can hear the machine picking up there, trying its hardest to send through that airflow. Eventually a time will come where it simply can't keep the airflow up, and you'll hear the machine beep, and it will then drop down to a lower airflow level. So that's now dropped down to airflow speed 2. As I've still got it blocked, it will do exactly the same thing, as it's still not providing the correct airflow. It's going to ramp up, try and solve the problem. It will then beep and drop to speed 1. And if we still have an issue at speed 1, it will do exactly the same, but it will then turn off, and you will have to investigate what the issue is here. Another feature of this machine is that it is a completely brushless motor in there, so no sparks are created within the machine. As it is brushless, this is perfectly suitable to be used in an ATEX environment. Now, because of the way this connects to whether it's a lightweight hood, a grinding visor, a welding helmet, unless these equipments are hard hat rated, you're not going to be able to wear a hard hat. So if you are in an industry or a workshop or an environment where you've got to wear a hard hat or certain types of PPE, bear in mind this will be connected to some sort of head-mounted visor. So it may limit your PPE that you can wear on your head. Okay, so we've covered first port of call, dust extractors, directly connected to the tool, and it will be extracting as much dust as possible straight from the source. The lighter dust that's then missed, you've got your PPE, whether that be a PAPR, disposable mask, so on. The real fine dust that's always in the air, sometimes missed, or you've finished a job, you've extracted, you've swept up, you go back the next day, and there's always a fine layer of dust that's in the air, which is constantly just thrown up every time a door or window's open and just sort of circulates in the room. That's where this then comes into it. So this is a MaxVac Dust Blocker 450. Looks very familiar. It's in the Thanos Sustainer. And the way this works, it's set up in a room, plugged in, maybe in a corner, in the centre, wherever works best, depending on the size of room. And it will draw the air in from the front here. It then goes through a series of 3 filters. We've got a pre-filter, a front filter, and a main filter. They are rated to HEPA 13. Again, filtration levels of similar to an M-class extractor. This isn't rated as an M-class, as it's not an extractor, doesn't have a bag, purely a filtration system. And once that air has then been filtered and cleaned, it's then pumped out through this exhaust here. You could have this set up in a room, circulating, cleaning, and pumping the air straight back into the room. Or if you did want to extract the air out once it's been cleaned, there is some ducting inside here that can be connected on and put to a waste pipe or out of a window. If we go ahead and open this up, in here you'll straight away find 2 power cables. We have a UK 110 volt plug and a UK 240 volt plug. This machine is dual voltage, simply plugs in the side. It's a cloverleaf power connector, and you can use the voltage you wish, and the ducting should you wish to extract from it. Pull that out, connect it up, and away you go. Up the top here, we've got a dial that simply controls the rate of suction through it, and there is a red light. The red light will illuminate once there is an airflow problem, indicating you need to check, clean, or replace your filters. You don't have to open it to see it. There is a little clear window on the top, so you will get a red light here should that issue arise. Very clever machine. Can be used in domestic works, a commercial works, or even if you've got an office in a joinery workshop, and every day you go in and you've got that thin layer of dust all over your screen or your keyboard, have this running in the corner, even on low, and it will purify the air, and you'll see a big difference almost immediately. I hope you found this video helpful, covering all of the dust solutions available from us here at Protrade. If you did enjoy it, please do like and subscribe to keep up to date with future videos.